Hey, it's Lindsay from StillWaters Ranch, and today I'm going to give you guys the full materials and give you a little bit of information on how to build my chicken tractor. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. It's super, super simple. So my chicken tractor is a 4x8 chicken tractor. You can also use these same dimensions and do a 5x10 chicken tractor if you do 10-foot 2x2s instead of 8-foot 2x2s. This chicken tractor held about 30, a little under 30 chickens just fine. I moved them 1 to 2 times a day, depending on how big they were and how much grass they were on, and they did great. So a 5x10 chicken tractor could probably hold, I would say, around 40 chickens, as long as you're moving them pretty frequently. So let's get to the materials you need to build this. So for a 4x8 chicken tractor, I got 10 2x2x8s. They don't have to be great quality 2x2s. I got untreated, kind of rough, not the best quality, just the cheapest they had. And I'm going to tell you how to cut those too. So 10 2x2x8s. Then you're going to need a 2-foot tall hardwire. I like to use hardwire instead of chicken wire because the raccoons can get through the chicken wire if they want to. They can reach their hand through there and pull through the chicken wire. Hardwire is a lot stronger, smaller holes, and it's going to keep your chickens safe from predators a little bit better than the chicken wire. But hardwire comes in different heights, and so they have a 1-foot height, a 2-foot height, and I think a 3-foot height. You get the 2-foot height, you're going to have to do a lot less cutting for this project. You're just going to have to cut height-wise you're just going to have to cut the length instead of the height. So it's going to save you a lot of work if you get the 2-foot tall hardwire. The other thing that you're going to need are some hinges. I just have little door hinges here from Home Depot, and that just helps this top hinge up and down, right? So I just have 2 little hinges that I screwed on. So you're going to need those. And then you're going to need some sort of siding or tin. I use tin here just from Home Depot, but you could use any sort of roofing material or siding. Some people put a tarp over part of their chicken tractor over the hardwire, but I wanted mine to be a little more sturdy than a tarp. The reason that you need part of it covered, I did half of my chicken tractor covered, is because you want your chickens to be able to get out if it's rainy, are cold. You want them to be able to get under something. In Texas, we have a lot of heat, so my chickens liked sitting back there in the heat of the day. So you just kind of want to give them a little bit protection. Do half of it covered and half uncovered is what I would say. Then you also need some, if you're screwing through metal, you need some metal screws to screw through this tin. And then over here, I did staples with this, so you need a staple gun. You need a staple gun and staples. I did a manual one, but you, of course, if you have a power staple gun, that's going to be a lot better than what I did. And then you need some kind of scissors or some way to cut your tin to shape and your hardwire to shape. So these are just heavy-duty roofing scissors that cut through. The total price for all of these materials was about $130, and I did buy these 2 tools. I will say I didn't buy the 10. We had that left over from another project. So maybe if you took out these tools and bought the 10, you're looking at about $130. Okay, so those are our materials. Now, what did we do? So I will tell you the lengths that we cut the boards. So first, out of your 10 boards, you want to leave 4 of them the 8-foot length. That's going to be your top here, your bottom here, and then your top and your bottom on this back side. So you want 4 of them to stay in your 8-foot length. Then you want to cut 4.5 of the boards to a 4-foot length. So in total, you want 9 4-foot long 2x2s. This is going to be for your side here, as well as back there, and then for your latch. So for your latch, you're going to have 5 of those 4-foot long boards. Here, a middle, an edge, and then back, and your front. Then you want to take the remainder of your 2x2s. So I think it's a 4-foot slice as a remainder, and then one whole 2x2. And you want to cut those in 2-foot sections. So at the end of that, you want to have 6 2-foot sections. And those 6 2-foot sections are going to be your posts here, here, your middle, and your back. So now that you have your cuts, you can cut that yourself if you have that ability. Most hardware stores will do 1 or 2 cuts per board for you. So you could actually go to the hardware store and get all of that cut for you. And then once you have your boards, you start to build. So what I did was I built my frame on my bottom and then my frame on my top. And then started to do the latch, and therefore you do need a drill, right, and some screws. I did a pilot hole on the first board and then let it grip on the second. So that's what you're going to do for building. I will tell you a few things that I would do differently if I were building this. So let me show you that. Okay, here is something that I would do different. So as you can see on this corner, I screwed both of these boards into this post here, but that left me nothing to staple the hardware onto that post. So I would have put this in between those boards so that my post would have been flush with my outside, and I would have been able to staple the hardware onto that. So if I build a second one, I will definitely do that. This kept the chickens in. I had no problem with predators whatsoever. But if I were building one, I would make sure to build that a little bit differently. Let me also show you my hinges here. These are just little door hinges. I don't have one in the middle, just have one here and then in the back there. Other than that, you can see the tin is pretty beat up from using it, but I just used screws that went through metal, so I didn't have to drill any pilot holes there. And I just did tin all the way around this half. And then my hardwire, again, is the 2-foot height, and so I just had to cut the length there and the length on the top. And I used less than 1 roll of hardware wire, so it doesn't take a ton to get this done. The other thing that some people do is they'll put some sort of handle on the front here, so you could carabine rope on the front to be able to pull, or add a more sophisticated handle. I would just lift up some like this and pull it forward, and it would move very easily, and the chickens would just walk with it. I didn't have a problem doing that. I may add rope, but honestly, it was super easy to move them every time. The other thing that you could do if you want to get fancy with your chicken tractor is add on wheels. So you could do some screws on the end and just pop on wheels every time you want to move it and pop them off. I wouldn't advise leaving the wheels on if it elevates your chicken tractor off the ground at all, because again, you don't want any predators being able to get underneath or in this tractor. But again, I didn't feel the need to have wheels. I was just able to grab mine pretty easily and move it. So that's my chicken tractor. I'm planning on doing another round of meat chickens in about a month or 2 in the fall when it cools down a little bit here. And I would want to do weekly check-ins with those so you can see how they're growing and progressing, and then do an updated processing day video that's a little more clear for everyone and a little more detailed. So follow along if you want to see that, and follow our journey of processing another round. We've loved eating them. They've been some of the best chicken we've ever had, and we've gotten huge compliments anytime we serve them to friends or family. So I highly recommend doing your own chickens and follow along with me so we can do it together. Thanks, guys.